Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Sandy Vasher. I am a fiction author and also nonfiction author, and also busy mom with never enough time. And if you know me from the WordStitch channel, which is probably how you're here right now, I am the co-host of WordStitch. My co-host, Chloe Alice Balkin, writes paranormal romance fiction. And she and I use this channel to host word sprints and also occasional sewing creativity things, because that's fun too. What you're hearing in the background there is my water boiling for tea, because that's kind of a necessary thing for me. High caffeine tea early in the morning. I'm really excited if you're here this morning, because I got to do this so that I can get in some words, and it is much better for me if I have somebody to motivate me. So good morning, Elizabeth Craig. Thanks so much for joining me. We're going to follow the actual schedule that I put in the footer today. So at 6:05, I am going to start our timer, and we'll start again with a 10-minute sprint. Did they? No, you guys didn't lose me. Great. I talked yesterday in the morning about how for me it's really important to kind of move from like the process of coming here to like getting into a manuscript. So if you happen to be viewing this for the first time, because I think it's the first one that's actually going to post to my personal YouTube channel also, then the reason that then we start with a 10-minute sprint. And the reason to do this is as like a little bit of a warm up. So with the assumption that 10 minutes isn't going to be your best word count for the morning, if this is your very first of the day, but it'll be the thing that gets you into your manuscript or whatever you're doing. And if you're here with me, word sprints are basically opportunities to write with other writers. So it's a bit like co-working, but for writers. And we welcome writers early in the morning like this, or other creatives, because presumably other creatives and other artists also have to do things before their kids wake up. And if you're just even like a journaler, or somebody who's doing like, let's say, meditative adult coloring books, then this would be a great show for you to join. So those are some reasons to be here today. And we're going to head right into our first sprint in a minute here, literally like a minute. So for me, what I'm thinking about, and I don't, this is maybe kind of a theme this week, are sensory details. So because I want to get back into my character's world, and because I'm writing fiction this morning, I'm asking myself, what are they seeing? What are they hearing? What are they tasting, smelling, feeling? So what is around? What's the temperature? What's the lighting? What is around that will set the stage for me, with the caveat that with only 10 minutes, you don't have that much time to describe everything, and over description is always a problem in a book, right? So this is to help you get back into the outline, or the manuscript, or whatever it is that you're working on today. And me too, and not to like overdo it. All right. Let's actually get started here. Our little sensory warm up. Add this to the stream. There's our timer. And we are going to start with that 10 minutes right now. So let's go ahead and be productive. time flies. All right, so let's see where I am. You guys see where you are. Okay, I'm at 255 words for the day. You know, Chloe is like much better at tracking things such as her word counts than I am, but since I'm attempting to commit to this on a more regular basis, I think maybe I should keep track of how many words I'm able to do each session like this. Who knows? Maybe I'll get better at it over time. I think that that does actually happen. I think writers sort of improve that muscle, right, and become better at actually being able to write a lot at once. So I know yesterday I wasn't at the word count I'm at today. So let's actually write that down. 255 words. Yay, Sandy. And I hope that you guys joining me also got lots and lots of words, because that is what we are here for. I guess save my document. So let's see. What'd you guys get? Elizabeth, 422 so far on your draft. That's awesome. I very much envy your ability to write that quickly. Envy it and hope to work on it for myself because I can do it. I think mornings are a really good time to do things like write because it at least for me, like it's too early for like the stress of the day to have hit me, right? So I have all this focus. I'm doing something good for me. This was like all in the plan. And so, instead of potentially defeatist thoughts that I could have on like a Monday afternoon or a Thursday afternoon, I'm feeling very like can do. And I think this is true. I think that this is absolutely true that with practice you get faster. So Elizabeth says her entire training through the years was writing in spare amounts of time, and that really helped. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. In fact, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I feel like, honestly, for both, at least for me, but I think for Chloe too, because we've been having kind of some conversations about this offline. We've both sort of had the luxury, or 2020, 2021 hit us in such a way that we either had all kinds of time or like no time. So 2020, I had all kinds of time, but like very little ability to focus on fiction because there was just so much other stress going on in my life. And then 2021, I've had zero time and have absolutely wanted to escape into some fiction. And I've been sort of talking about like, how do you as a writer then, go from having like all the time and all the focus, which I did actually have a year of that in like 2019 where like I sort of devoted 1 year of my life to just trying to get as much published as I could. And I got a lot published and it was great. And then real life hit again. But I feel like, writers have to kind of pay for their time, right? Like we have to, or at least we have to find it. We have to find it during the day. We have to figure out what we're going to sacrifice. Maybe that's sleep. Maybe it's vacuuming. Maybe it's cooking dinner, or I don't know. I mean, I suppose like I can absolutely see something like sitting at a park with my son and watching him play, and perhaps with my computer. No, forget the computer. Perhaps with my phone, jotting down whatever I can for a scene. And I don't think that's a romantic thought. I think that might be sort of like a survival thought. So that is what I'm hoping I learn how to do, is make it to the point where I can make the best of every moment of writing time possible. I joined the 10-minute novelist group. I was sort of hoping to get inspiration from them, and I don't I don't know yet if that group is more focused on actual writing or on time management, but we'll see. All right, so it is 6:21, and I promised 5-minute breaks, and we gotta get stuff done, right? So let's go ahead and do a 30-minute sprint now. And if you're writing with me, so this is our 30-minute 1K challenge with the goal of writing 1,000 words in half an hour. So let's see if I can make it this time. Elizabeth, I bet you can. I feel like this is your kind of jam. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. Good luck. Okay. So let's count our words. All right, that was 763 for me. And I think yesterday I was at like 424 or something for the 30 minutes. So yeah, there is some improvement going on. I don't think I'm going to reach that 1500 goal that I have for the day. That's what I'm trying to get to is 1500, and it's possible in this amount of time. I mean I know lots of writers who could do it, and I can do it sometimes when I'm more focused. So it could be that in the morning I'm just not going to be as quick, but we'll see. But who knows? I've got another 15-minute left coming up in a couple minutes here, so at that point, maybe I'll be able to get in the last like 300 or 400. We'll see. How'd you do? I'm always interested in knowing how other people do with this. Oh, my timer's going crazy. There we go. Let's reset this. So we're going to do 15 minutes in just a couple more minutes. The really strange thing about doing these without Chloe is that I'm used to having these like long, luxurious breaks where I can like kind of sit back and complain about some things and, do some writerly camaraderie. And that's fun for me. It makes me a little bit sad that I need to be productive enough not to like take time for that. And that is kind of what's going on right now. But I think it's nice when you can go to those streams where you get like a little bit of chat with your hosts. Elizabeth got 1,057. Nice job, Elizabeth. That is very good. And says she switched over to work on my outline for another project, and that takes me longer to write. Yeah. So you're an outliner, and that's I think that makes a lot of sense. I am, especially if you're having to kind of like write in sort of short spurts, right? Like you sort of need the outline so that you don't lose your place. I'm today writing like a scene that's much later in my book, and I have a beat sheet. So I put it into like the right beat, but I don't really have an outline. And I am kind of thinking like, is this going to be a wasted chapter? Like, am I going to get here chronologically at some point and realize that I've kind of completely lost the plot and that what I just wrote doesn't even make sense for my book. And I just don't even have time for that like inefficiency right now. So I've tried to reject outlines on the grounds that in the past it's made me like I can get a little too excited about an outline and then never actually finish the book. But maybe it's a tool that I'm going to have to adapt to because that's the whole thing right now. And that's interesting. So downside to outlining is that I do write shorter while following it. See, and this is kind of part of my problem is I'm afraid that an outline would become like it would take a little bit of the zest out for me, if that makes sense. Like maybe I would be just trying to fill something in and not really feeling whatever the characters are feeling. But speaking of what the characters are feeling, it's already 6:55. Clearly 5-minute breaks go by really fast. I've got one 15-minute session left for us. So let's go ahead and get to that and get those final words in for the morning. So Elizabeth, thank you so much for writing with me this morning. And I hope that this sprint is helpful for you also. So I'm going to mute my screen and start the timer. Okay, that's our last sprint. So let's see about words here. Okay, that was 344 for me. So I feel decent about that. And that puts me at 1,362 for the morning. I can live with that. That's not so far away from my 1,500 goal. At least it's over 1,000. I feel like if I could manage this for, Monday through Friday, most weeks of the year, then 1,000 words a day would not be absolutely horrible. I would have a few books written by the end of the year. And Elizabeth, 512. Very nice. You really do write really fast. That's awesome. I'm going to aspire to write that quickly tomorrow morning. And I will be back tomorrow morning because so far this is working really well for me. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a point where I kind of crash at some point and cannot get up at 6 a.m. So we'll see about that. Yeah, it is a big deal, especially with not being used to it and not having had much sleep. You're right. There was not much sleep last night. Our air conditioner broke last night, and it's still kind of hot in North Carolina. So it was a little bit of a challenging night. But it's all right. It's all right. We still made it here this morning. I'm still feeling really good about that, and I hope that if you joined us, that you got a lot of work done today too. So. I can't believe it's already 7:13 in the morning, but doesn't it feel good to be up like this and already be productive? I feel pretty good about it. I don't know. There's something really hopeful. I always thought I wouldn't be the kind of person who could get up at the crazy early time in the morning, but here I am getting up at 5:30 to write. So Elizabeth, thank you for joining me today, and you're welcome for the sprints. I hope I see you later in the week, and I'm gonna close this out so that we can both go and be productive, and also so that I can get the baby who has started kicking. It's that time. So, all right, thanks so much. Have a good day, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye.